So what's new in version 1.3? Well, there's two main updates we should mention first. One big change is in the Pro version. Now, instead of it being just based on 2D images, we've also got 3D objects. These objects can be put in a collection, and they even have their own geometry modifiers on them to create more versatility and variety between the particles. But you could just use your own collection of objects instead if you wanted. There's a bunch of extra controls for those objects in the particle system too. We've got another video on it all that goes into more detail. The other big change is for the free light version as well as the Pro version, which is we've changed from using planes that angle towards the camera to these points that handle the orientation of the texture in the shader instead. This makes it way faster than before, about 5 to 10 times faster in some cases. Alright, let's quickly go through the rest of the smaller changes. Based on a request, we added back the feature to be able to select whether the particles scale with the bounding box. That just means when we're in edit mode and adjusting the size of the domain, when we scale that down, you can see the particles are getting smaller. But with this disabled, when I go to now scale this, you can see that the particles basically stay the same size. In the shading section, we had hue, saturation, and value variation already, and now we've added opacity variation as well. We've got a cast shadow option, which toggles whether the particles cast shadows, no surprise. I'll add a plane to cast the shadows onto there. Notice these particles can look a bit inconsistent with the way the shading is working here. In some cases, the blended alpha method struggles. That's why we've also created a simple dithered alpha option as well. When using dithered alpha, the particles can be a bit noisier, and we can control the amount of noise in the render settings, by the way. But a dithered alpha is usually more accurate and also faster to calculate than the blended alpha method. The dithered works better for depth of field and motion blur as well. In the rotation section, there's a new rotation amount for simply adding some extra rotation offset on top of the other controls. We've added a couple of extra features for particles using a curve. If you take a point of the curve and use Alt-S to alter the radius, then that'll control how tightly or loosely the particles pass through that point. Also, Control-T to adjust the tilt of that point can control how the particles are rotated as they come through that part of the curve. And checking out the dust particles asset in Blender 5.1, as that's nearly out as well, and all is working fine there too. And that's it for now. Let us know if you've got any other requests. And as always, we love seeing all the cool ways you use the asset, or just your art, even without the asset for that matter. It's keeping the human spirit alive. So please keep sending them to us. Chat with us on Discord or on the socials or wherever, and we'll see you out there.